Exoborne is a very popular upcoming extraction PvPvE shooter, which has gained a lot of attention in the gaming community. Despite not being particularly interested in this genre, the playtest from the 12th to the 17th of February revealed to me both the positive and negative aspects of it. The game shares similarities to other online looter shooters, battle royales, and extraction-style gameplay. Let's just hope that it doesn't fail to deliver on the promises, like many of them have before. Starting off with the issues, a playtest often features automated players to test the servers and also to test the technical issues before releasing a game to the public. The playtest featured AI players appearing suddenly out of nowhere in the default game mode, which felt very mundane and did not provide much satisfaction. You can see here that my teammate was on the other side of the tunnel that we had just cleared, and I was at the other side looting some of the NPCs. Entering the tunnel, two players spawned and were easily dispatched. It's a pretty common thing you're going to see on this game mode, players spawning right on top of you when your back is turned. Now, I would love to give the benefit of the doubt, but with how many games have this kind of a feature, if they can create AI players, they can keep a game alive even if it doesn't do well. It's essentially a PvE with artificial players outside of your own team if you're playing in the standard game mode. So when a player defeats a whole team by themselves, this is frequently done to give them an imaginary sense of achievement. As a first impression, it isn't a good approach to marketing a game. It's possible that this is just for the playtest, but player versus player is the main focus of a PvP game in a PvE setting. Before you can enter a high-risk game mode fighting against other players with high stakes, you will have to fight against AI players for about 4 to 5 hours with a real group of players. One problem that I had with a high-stakes game mode was the NPC AI seemed a little unfair, especially because I could only ever seem to play it solo rather than with a squad, while crashing completely if I tried to wait for others. There were a few issues with using the grappling hook while traversing terrain. You could sometimes become trapped in animations for a short duration or phase through walls for a moment, causing the AI to become alerted to you and swarm you for no reason. And aside from those two issues, nothing else comes to mind. The story based on the cutscenes appears to be how the military or the government used exosuit commands against the will of the operator, who was controlled and compelled to gun down civilian protesters until some type of resistance was formed. Through the plot dialogue, you are assigned goals. You'll find yourself fulfilling chores for this organization, which will allow you to gear up and tackle some of the higher content much more quickly, providing a lot more motivation to play apart from wanting to fight other players. Players are eased into the gameplay, which is quite typical with these types of games. Loading in, you'll glide and grapple your way around while accomplishing the tasks alone or in groups. Opening up the map, you'll be able to see what's currently around you, and the larger the risk, the greater the reward. Your goal is to extract as much high-risk gear and loot as possible, or, more precisely, what has currently been requested. Once you've reached a value of 25,000 and you level up, you can then, from what I can tell, play against actual players, with a huge shift in difficulty. Add to that the fact that the PvE elements are turned up to a 10 from a 0, means that they will hit harder and are much more accurate, and aren't just standing around aimlessly. This means it's a much more intense experience that will undoubtedly take you out within a few minutes of landing, so staying together and communication is absolutely key. I really like the revive feature. They allow you to self-revive instead of instantly being downed, or while a teammate provides covering fire for you to get you back up on your feet if you are able to find some cover beforehand. It provides numerous opportunities to succeed whether alone or together, as long as you have the resources. Tornadoes, fire, lightning, and other elements in Exoborne can help or hinder your ability to explore and extract. The high winds of a tornado could send you flying into the air with no way back down until it has subsided, so your best option would be to hunker down in a house and wait for it to pass, while possibly fending off other players in the area in the meantime. Gliding through the updrafts, grappling throughout the world, and defeating enemies wherever they appeared was very entertaining because it wasn't flawed. It didn't feel like low effort. I really loved the atmosphere, the gameplay, the weapons, and most importantly, the ability to customize all of your equipment and exosuits. There are several crafting elements, attachments, shops, and general cosmetic options available that will allow you to personalize your gaming style rather than being compelled to use the same weapons or style as everybody else. While looting, you must wait for a few moments for the gear to be available. This makes things much more intense in high-stakes situations, as the 10 seconds it takes to look through a bag or a chest might be the difference between survival and death. Considering how often I am unimpressed with extraction shooters, I must say that I had a good time playing through Exoborne. Even if the high-risk mode resulted in me dying near instantly playing solo from the NPCs while attempting to reach the next area, it's definitely something that has potential. It was very entertaining and demanding in both PvP and PvE. The many components placed against the player, not just firepower but also EMP strikes, powers, disruptions, and so on, increases the intensity. It makes you think and strategize on a decent solution instead of rushing it alone.